Hardly a day goes by these days that we don't see a story in the news about the failures of the Department of Children and Family Services here in Illinois. 3 years ago this month, a child, little AJ Friend in Crystal Lake, was brutally murdered by his parents and buried in an unmarked grave not a mile from my house. The case made statewide news, national news, but unfortunately, stories like this happen all too often, and all too often they fall behind other stories that pop up. McHenry County is a little different. It's a little different because we have one person in our county who decided that she wasn't going to let the fact that this child was treated the way that he was and was buried in an unmarked grave. Several weeks after AJ's body was found, Tracy Kotzman, a constituent of mine from McHenry County, came into my office and sat down and said, "I'm just a mom. I don't know what to do about this, but it's killing me. I don't know what to do." And I told her, "You just don't quit." She has since formed a group called Roar for AJ, which has been tireless in its efforts to keep the memory of AJ Friend and what happened to him and what happened to so many other children in this state. She's sitting up here today, standing actually, and down in the rotunda she has a display of 347 pairs of shoes, children's shoes, to represent the 347 children who have died under the watch, while in the watch of DCFS, since little AJ was murdered in April of 2019. It's people like Tracy that keep us honest about what our obligation is to the children of Illinois. Too often these cases, we just had one that happened in Peoria, and we've had so many in between. Too often we let what goes on in this chamber blind us to what we really have as a responsibility to those who are the most helpless in this state. DCFS is an agency that's beyond redemption. It's been that way for a long time, under many, many directors and under many, many administrations. It's our job to fix it. And when the next General Assembly convenes in 2023, whether I'm here or not, I hope that you will take the task, that I will join you in that task if I'm here, to understand what DCFS is supposed to be about. It's not to be about dangling children in front of families so that they can rehabilitate themselves and get together. It's an agency that's sole responsibility is to protect the lives of children who have a limited shelf life. You got kids that go from abusive homes to foster homes to psychiatric hospitals, bouncing back and forth. Go back to their homes because there have been unfounded reports. Kids are abused again, they're taken back out. Every day that goes by, those kids are losing their childhood and they're losing what it will take for them to become adults. We have an obligation on both sides of the aisle. We have an obligation to do what's right for the children of Illinois. And if what it takes is to take the Department of Children and Family Services and root it out, root and branch, and redo it in a way that takes the child and puts the child first, then we have that obligation. I want you to stand and thank Tracy Kotzman for doing what she has done to keep AJ Friend's memory alive. And in so doing, she has kept alive the memory of all those children who have come after him and now can't speak for themselves, so it falls to us. This is serious work, and this is probably the most serious work I will ever do on the floor of this House, is to make sure that when I leave, I have made child welfare better than what it is. It's a low bar, because it can't get much worse. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.